Hello, everybody. Welcome back. You know what? A lot of you have been asking me where I've gone in the last year. I had the Tracy Clark show, and we've been slowly bringing guests back. You've seen me on a bunch of podcasts, and we have a lot more coming up. And so it's been time to sort of reinvent. And what's been really going on in the last year for a lot of people is reinventing yourselves as the energy has shifted from the old matrix to the new matrix and the new paradigms. And so I'm really excited today because you're going to see more of our wonderful guest, Michael Andre Ford, who, why have we brought him here today? You say, because many of you have been asking me about the angel realm, the dark realm, how we connect more with it to transmute, right? That energy will transmute the dark instantly like that, and how you can connect with it. Now, the other thing I like is everybody has their specialties. And you guys know when you come to me, I'm looking at body, we're shifting health and wealth. But one of the things that we love that Michael does is his specialty is all angels and how they help you. And you know what? You guys hear me say this, and he will be the first person to tell you they're your family that's right behind your back. They're the ones that are walking with you each and every day. I chill saying that. So I am, Mike, I'm so glad that you could join me today because it's so good to kind of come back and, people have been like, where are your guests? Where are your guests? So one, just thank you for being here and dedicating some time to everybody. And I want to jump right in because for all the people that don't know you and they're getting to know you because you've been all over the world yourself and you have this whole incredible connection. You and I have had so many conversations, and the way you work with the angels, the way you do it differently. Can you, for the people that don't know you and this is their first time, how did you realize, like, you're really gifted at this. So how did you realize that your connection with the angels and what was really going on for people that don't know your story?
Sure. Well, look, I started hearing, feeling, seeing angels, light, streaks of light, balls of light. And, I did the usual American thing, which is completely freaked out. I grabbed a Sure Shot camera, one of those little Sure Shot things, you take the photos. And I started snapping 100, 150 photos a day just to kind of prove to myself I wasn't nuts. And I got great photos of angels. And what's wild is you really don't need me. You only have to set your intent. Angels are in and around you. If you have to think interdimensionally, or if you just want to think like out of a movie, they're standing next to you. It doesn't really matter which way. It's whatever's comfortable for the person who's watching or listening right now. But you can see full on, eyes open, with or without wings. You can get any answers, all languages, all accents, dialects, and a lot of humor, and just the way you need to hear it. And so again, I'd like to take the emphasis away from me for 1 second. You have all the skills in the world right now, like you're a professional soccer player, or football player. We just don't trust that our senses are real, or that we've got that ability to let go of our version of reality to get to here. But it's just a little more heart space, heart time, and trusting reality, trusting the universe, trusting whatever words you need to use to trust more in that moment to get all answers. Hugs can become healing, and seeing.
This is what I love about you because you and I are so on the same page, is that we just want to empower people. It's one thing I love so much about you. You're just like me. Like, let's guide so you're empowered. So when they go out in the world, they know how to communicate and connect. And I like what you say about, and that's most of us, right? Not trusting. I like how you took the camera. You had how many pictures before you're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So what, because a lot of people get confused. They think that there's only a certain number of angels, but can you share with people all the different types of angels? Because there are lots of them, right? On how we communicate. And I know you communicate and have a whole team, from people that used to be here on the planet to people that hadn't been. Can you share with the people a little bit more on
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Look, so there are angels, there are guides, everything from figures from India, Native American chiefs, Mother Teresa, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Sai Baba, you name it. It's, for the immediate group that I kind of work with, it's about 170 figures. So Joseph is an angel if you're into the biblical thing, or Abe, the old Abraham, who's on everyone's team, grandfatherly energy, fun.
Oh, stop you there. You just said on everybody's team. Can you elaborate on that one?
Yeah, sure. So look, you've got a cheerleading squad. And I mean, look, the only thing that matters is the person who's watching or listening right now, the way they think it is. The only thing is, maybe you can allow for this much wiggle room so that it can expand, because all life is about expansion, about continued learning, not about hanging your hat on what you've learned. It gets easy for a decade to get stuck. It could be business, relationships. This happened to me. Stuff happens for you. All of life is constant change and growth. And that's kind of scary for all of us. We want to become an expert on something, and that's all we ever have to do. We never have to look up again. We never have to learn again. So angels are here to just show us that there's more love in each moment, that we can breathe easier, walk a smoother path. It doesn't mean that, your hurdles, your obstacles, getting sick again isn't going to happen. It just means you're paying attention more. And what's fabulous about this is you have no privacy. I don't mean like in the shower. That's kind of true too. Exactly. But yeah, you're just known where you are on your life stage and over many lifetimes. And whether you want to pay attention or not this lifetime, it's totally up to you. That's what free will is about. So the biggest takeaway is just set your intent to be like, hey, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm willing to at least pay attention 5% more and watch what happens. And if you're gung-ho, like I love business people, they're so disciplined. Thank you, Tracy. Exactly. And I love that laugh.
Yes.
Yeah, but you're so disciplined, you're used to knowing your business model and you want your answers. So that's all this is about. Can you be sticking your elbows enough out, and can you be pushy enough to be like, yeah, no, okay, I'm going to get over the hump of whatever he's talking about because I know I want my answers. And if you're from Italy, get it in Italian. Japan, get it in Japanese. I don't speak those languages. I don't see your answers, but angels just give you what you need. And it's a little hard to picture no limits. It's getting here, and you know it from athletics, you know it from cooking, yoga, reading a book. When you let go, you're in the book. Welcome to living life as a human. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also, I always say, our intuition and our connection to anything, it's like going to the gym. It's a muscle, right? The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And that's what makes you like, you have such a strong connection because you're using it every day. Me as well. And how we do things like that. That's what it is. And people forget that. Like they'll go to the gym and work out every day. And then they're like, why am I not hearing my angels or my messages? Don't you find that? And it's like, but you didn't ask. You didn't talk to them. You didn't tell them anything.
Here's the extreme. So take Mother Teresa's quote while she was alive. You can meet her on the other side now. You can meet your relatives, your pets who have passed over, your loved ones. She said, if you judge people, you have no time to love them. Now, actually try to put that into place and apply it in your own life. That neighbor 20 blocks down or whatever, or your boss or that coworker that just drives you nuts. Good luck with doing love. And yet you knew it as a kid, you knew it at certain points in your life, and you actually practice it. And you have a huge heart. So somewhere in there, this has nothing to do with angels, spirituality, or anything else. It's actually just about living more, loving more, allowing more in the moment. And again, it's the number one thing that our ego, our psyche, our thinking, our resistance, our reacting, our knowing something that precludes real life, real possibility. Whatever the ego is, does not want you to go here. And that's the letting go, the trusting. Some people call it surrender, faith, religious, non-religious, letting go. That's the name of the game, is getting here and practicing that a little more. And then once you get the hang of it, bam, your life takes off.
Yeah. What do you notice? I would love to hear your point of view, because I've noticed when I've worked with people and I'll tell them, you have angels and guides, and then they want to go explore more, and they sometimes, but when people don't talk and communicate with their angels and guides, because they like to do it, do you ever notice it looks like they're sitting there having coffee or maybe a cigarette or whatever, you want to say, but they're just kind of waiting. Like, could you tell me what do you need? Like, do you ever notice that when you're working with people? Because I see it a lot and people think I'm a little crazy, but I'm going, you got to talk to them because they're waiting for you to tell them like what you need or what you require back. Like you just said, is information. Do you notice that
there's a token or like a magnet or something in one of the SUVs in one of our cars that's got the angel who's sort of like this, not falling asleep, but just totally like, dude, when are you going to actually contact me? It's been a decade. So that's the beauty of your life. Every one of us out there, you're actually getting everything you need in every single moment. And so let's flip that a little. Positivity itself, trusting in life itself, is abundance. So I know we think it's cash or successful career, relationships, but the beginning starting point for all of your new journey, your unique life path that you never lost sight of, actually, your higher self, your soul knows all about it. Your crew knows all about it. You kind of know all about it, but you've done the best you can for sometimes 50 years to ignore it. It's just about being here and, again, loving more, allowing more. Picture it as a button. Whenever you've had those top moments in life, anything, finishing a marathon and you're like, yes, falling in love for the first time, you're hitting the button here. And all the other times we're doing thinking generally pulls us away from that.
Yeah, very true, right? I always say the greatest wealth you have is the one inside. And I think people like the peace. I always say that's my best, like the biggest wealth that I hold is my peace, because I didn't have that. You and I've talked about this lots. Like when you don't have that and you then find it and it gets stronger and stronger, and you're just like in this zen, it's like, if you'd asked me 20 years ago if I thought that was possible, I would tell you like you were full of crap. I'm like, yeah, well, maybe, maybe, but I'm like, it exists. So you're right. That hole, it's in there, right? And I was like, whoa, it's so much good peace. So can you help with people, because this, for a lot of people, they're waking up. This is a new area for them. And I know I get a lot of new people that come from various platforms where they're just waking up and going, what is this stuff? But they know it's sort of different. For somebody that wanted to start, and you were to coach, if you could give somebody a little tip, they want to start connecting with their angels and they say, oh my God. So they want to come, they're listening to your podcast now, they're going and say, okay, well, how does this guy do it? But what's a tip you could just say to people that this is new to them, and say, this is how you can start by bringing your angels forth or connecting with them? What would you say to them?
Sure. So everyone's got like an authentic presence or center. It's just being in your heart, being still, letting go, checking out of thinking. Number one. So there's a million ways to get to your heart. A smile, a laugh, do a dance in the middle of a supermarket. Trust me, everyone else is going to laugh and you're going to be like, wow, that was incredible. I just let go. It's kind of a Zen master
As
thing.
long as the security guard doesn't show up and escort
Yeah,
you to the
exactly.
door.
But spontaneity does it. Humor does it. A good song, touching grass, barefoot on the grass. A million ways to get your heart. Do it in the shower. You're usually relaxed in the shower.
Yeah.
And then this is all about allow, ask, and receive, or allow, ask, and get. If we're talking hugs or an answer or seeing, you're going to have to baby step it, though, because you're up against a huge crowd up in the brain that says, no way, Jose. I don't want you having even a moment free, a moment of peace or inner calm or happiness. And let's again flip the pancake here. We'll say it a different way. I will challenge everyone's concept of everything right now with the following statement. And it's something you can argue against viciously. You can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason in the world. And watch the buts start flying in. But what about my ex, my divorce, my chapter 11, my health, my dog, my car, my finances, my lack of this, my lack of that? And that's all thinking. And until you can recognize the difference between these flows, I'm not saying all thinking is negativity, and guess what? You're not getting rid of all your thinking. You just have the opportunity to start paying attention more and recognizing where are you putting your focus? How are you flowing your energy? The second you start getting here, you can allow for this. Let the universe do its job. Angels, guides, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Geronimo, Plato, Marcus Aurelius, St. Francis, you name it. 170 figures. There's thousands, tens of thousands more than that of angels, all shapes, sizes, and colors, all different roles, all unconditional love, and they're fine not touching a thing. Your ego wants to control and limit you on everything, so you have to figure out, who am I listening to? What am I paying attention to? And again, where you put that focus is where you're sending your own vibe out, but picture it as a boomerang. It's how you're also getting all your energy. So if it's horror slash movies 24/7 for 5 years, I'm not sure what type of life you're going to be living. And, I'm not saying Disney films, the opposite. I'm just saying, try to breathe a little more, give yourself a break a little more. No try Yoda. And Archangel Gabriel once said, always try. So it's also not about the words. They're both correct.
Yeah, so funny you said that just out of your mouth about like what you're putting in, like the horror movie stuff. I literally just had a conversation with someone yesterday, and I haven't had a conversation like that with someone for a long time. And now you're saying again, and we always look for synchronicity. So that was a very powerful, like what you're putting in and where you're putting your attention to, guys, is so true. Like just to really connect. And don't you find, because we are conditioned, right? Think, think, think. Mary, in school, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Like they never ask you what you feel, right? So we have to pull apart that. What was it? Spock, wasn't he the mind melder? Well, now we want to, you don't want to meld the minds. We want to like unhook the mind from the heart and connect that heart space, which I love. Can you share some of the more if you're okay with this, so
Oh
I'm
yeah,
putting you
yeah,
on the
sure.
spot. Some of your fascinating moments and times that you've experienced with angels that others can enjoy in that joy.
Sure. And I'll preface it with anyone who's listening, who's gung ho about this or watching, they can just ask one of their teammates, their crew members, their cheerleader angels to pop into their life as a full on human in the next, give it 3 weeks. If you're doubtful, 5 weeks, I can do it. 5.
Okay. Oh,
Ask
they're
for an
just
angel to
stopping me for a minute. Hey, they're stopping
yeah.
me. Can Michael does this great thing. So you guys know me. I just want to have so much fun. Can you do the stage before we do this?
Yes.
The
So I'm
stage.
going to blow sage. And
Okay.
anyone who's just listening, I'm lighting
I
sage
feel
right now. It's from Whole Foods, the American supermarket chain that I think's everywhere. It's Juniper Ridge, the California company, and they've got a great. It's on my website. I'm not, what do you call it, commissioned by them in any way. I'm lighting sage. You can catch it through 2 screens. I did this on 20-25 shows last year. Show hosts, audience members, producers can smell it. Tracy's going to tell you what she smells.
Oh, I smell when I smell the sage that comes from you, it's the sage in combination with the sweet grass. I always get both when you do it. It's really like that more sweet grass smell for me, but I smell it. It's absolutely beautiful.
So what this is about is that there are really no limits in life. Now, we all know there are limits, and I can list 1,000 things and totally change the nature of the show by talking about bills, my left muscle injury, I can't go running, and woe is me, my whole life story. Or we could just allow for a little more action from the universe and let the universe do its job. We're not really, you don't have to lift too much of a finger, a muscle here. You still have to do emails, calls, and show up. But what I'm trying to say is it's far easier, far bigger than we're ever going to permit when you're up in the brain. The heart already is geared up, ready to go. And there was an original question we were about to tackle, actual seeing angels as humans is how I'd put it, but light energy as well. An angel named Joy, pink ball light, an ambassador communicator, very first one you would meet through me. She's the emotion joy, high peppy voice. She did a Roman candle through my living room floor, through my ceiling, and showed up again a second later back at the beginning of all this. Now, I was dumbstruck, dumbfounded, probably still talking about it 4 months later. And you can see an angel, though, in full on human form who holds the coffee shop door open for you. And so that, again, is what I'm going to emphasize is it's absolutely crazy. It is Star Trek in another way. Picture angels as being the Star Trek crew itself, and we are the indigenous population that's not supposed to be interfered with. They're just here to show us a little more kindness, gentleness, compassion, and that there is a path you can walk that's smoother. You still check all the boxes on the relationship, health, having more fun in life, but you're not trying through thinking control, power-oriented stuff. You're instead doing it through being in your heart, being one with all. Let's do Star Wars, the Force.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. You know me, we're all kind of Star Wars junkies that way in a good way, because it is, right? You feel the force and it's always right, the force within you. And I know that's why so many people were so fascinated, right? And that's how you feel the angels in the presence. And I love that you put it out there for people to say, okay, in the next it was 5 weeks, right? Over the next 3 to 5 weeks, see where those angels are. If it looks and it feels like it's going to be faster than that. So guys, just where is it? Who shows up for randomly? And I always like to when that happens, and I would love your perspective on that. When that happens, I'm always like really like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like thank you for the sign, thank you for them in the life, like really giving that gratitude back to that energy. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, look, gratitude is a great way to get open, to be centered, to appreciate all that is already, and just to give yourself that door cracking open access to the universe itself. So I do transdimensional channeling as one of like 900 ways to say, I crack people open like a walnut to tap their own inner skills. So you get a multidimensional experience. And everything is available right now. Seth from the 1970s is at Jane Roberts, the New Age stuff, to Peaceful Warrior, the gymnastics movie, the deleted scene, Sock, the gas station attendant. Everything happens through your heart this exact moment. It's not external. But again, Tracy, make sure you're tapping Tracy. Tracy can show you the way. But there is no way in a sense. It's already your heart.
Your way. Yeah, it's your way.
Yeah.
What would be, and I know, so for a lot of us, we are fortunate that we've been awake for a long time and we've been riding through this higher. We're very excited about this time. We're not really caught up in, like, we're really having fun, right? A lot of us are having fun, we're connecting, we're in these new energies already. But for somebody that's also waking up, who might be going through some more challenging moments, like you say, they're working to get in their heart, is there an angel that you thought when you first really started connecting and go, oh my gosh, these are who I'm working with? Do you get one that comes through more to help people when they are moving through these bigger transitions that maybe they're not feeling grounded or centered? I know some of them take the lead. Do you have one that you really find that can help people with that if they're feeling they just need to connect into one that's more supportive for them at this time?
Sure. I've got my guardian angel as a silhouette, but the middle one is Claire and the white one is Lucy. So I'm going to pull
Yeah.
them to the front. Claire is resilience and Lucy is patience. And these two are knockout for helping people through turbulent waters. And you can put your hand up to the screen and feel their energy through two screens. So if you're in Germany watching this, get it in Germany. And if you're in New Zealand and it's 2 years from now and you're watching the tape, just go ahead and feel what you can feel on your palm, your fingers. If you're resisting it all, you'll feel it on your toes. There's 1,000 ways to feel the vibration of an angel, just as there's 1,000 ways to get a hug. Hugs can become healing. Colorblind people have seen color. I did want to mention that there's a lot of ways to resist all this. You could be like, hey, how is it possible to get photos? I just did. I was in a panic, but I was also given beautiful photos.
Yeah.
Photos of even a fairy, archangels in different shapes and forms. There's a fairy named Ginger.
Beautiful. Yes, yes.
Yeah. And if you have a twin brother, twin sister, or just a relative or a friend around, you're getting along, you each own it individually. You get your answers, get your hugs, you see. And you see 1,000 ways as well. Light to full on standing in your backyard with and without wings. I like to do both because, we seize as quickly as we can to get secure again. We seize on just one way to do things. A lot of Americans love to listen with their eyes shut.
Yep.
And my point on this is, if two people own it individually, they can, if they're relaxed, they can do it jointly. So I'm off the hook on this. And this is why I'm like trying to make the point to your audience. It's all up to you just to own what you can own, when you can own it. Don't make it a big deal, baby step it. But you can do joint seeing, joint hearing. I had two sprinkler guys come in, young, in their 20s, great energy, but they're owning it individually. And then they were seeing like Audrey Hepburn, the angel, Geronimo, I forget one of the other big figures, the big names, but they're doing it across the street. Some people need a football field away to see because they're just not ready to have like 20 meters away is a lot. So it's better to be 100 meters away for your viewing. But a person who's just had a near-death experience yesterday, the chute didn't open on their skydive thing. They bounced, not a scratch. And every news station wants an interview. At that point, you have no fear. You're kind of like, hey, life is great for about 3 days. Yes. And at that point, you could go have a cup of tea with your angel because you're just like, yeah, let's go do it. I almost died yesterday. Life is beautiful. Oh my God, pointy bird. I mean, you're fired up. And then you have to pay the bills a week later and you're back to where you were. So the skydiving accident made no impact. Exactly. Welcome to being human.
I love it. I love it. So you reference, and this I like this to ask you this, is you reference some have wings and some don't. And I 100% have seen them both ways like you. But some people have a hard time with that. They always think they all have to have wings. I'm not sure where that whole concept came from. Are you able to elaborate on that so people
they can show, I mean, here's how I meant it is you can see both ways. They'll put their wings out, but some people roll, they have to see the wings, and that's great. I make sure you see the wings. I also make sure you see them more human looking without the wings. First, I usually do no wings, then they unfurl them. When Audrey Hepburn pulls her out, she does a lot of panache or flares or light coming off the wings. And she puts on a little bit of a show, and you have certain ways that you think about all these topics we've talked about, kind of a conservative, traditional way we approach everything. And she's not shy. She throws in some light that leaves your jaw dropping and you're like, wow, there's so much humor. It's just beyond any amount of grasping because that's just more thinking. And none of this is about thinking. And even if you get it done, you're still going to have a way you think about it. And then you could seize up again. Ego's going to get in there and be like, okay, I allowed for that last week, but we're not doing it again for 3 years. I'm not going to let my dude here open up again to get anything done for 3 years. We're going to know what we know, preclude all possibility, and just stay stuck for as long as possible.
Well, because that energy it is love, like you said, right? So it's the vibration is peace and calm and joy and happiness, and they're always in that vibration. So if people remember that, if you guys are listening, you're like, yeah, I want to stay in that space. That's what Michael's saying. You're going to get a stronger connection. What are some of the, could you share a few more, maybe really fun moments? Oh, you want to, okay, we'll go there first.
Okay. So anyone out there who's got the visual here, take a look at joy. Just put your hand out, feel what you can feel in your fingers, your palm. Ask for a hug and get a hug. 1,000,000 ways on your person to get an energy transaction. Yummy in the tummy, goosebump on the right elbow, back of the neck, get a hand on your shoulder, wind in the room, a whoosh. Allow, ask, and receive if there's one takeaway. And here's my only bit of structure or advice. Just be like, hey, angels, get me out of my head into my heart. Thank you. Om Sai Ram. Amen. Rock and roll. Whatever way you can own it, like a Boy Scout pledge.
Yeah.
So ask her for a hug. Feel a hug. Ask for flowers or the Maui Hawaiian Ocean in the room. And then I always show people their energy, auras, consciousness itself, light, the force, whatever. You can see light. If you have, again, a twin sister, you're getting along, you can see your light flow between you when you're getting along, bandmates in a band.
Yeah.
Here's a regular American lighter, Bic lighter, Canadian Bic lighter. Let's change that. Exactly. And now ask Joy to come in and add some pink light to the yellow or gold light you normally would see. But ask for extra light around it and let go. Here's Joy again. Ask her to make it nice. Allow, allow, allow. I'll tell one dad joke because when you laugh, you've let go and then you're getting out of your own way. You're letting the universe do its job. And this is the major point on everything we've talked about. So Santa's reindeer, Blitzen, Dancer, just those two. Why do Blitzen and Dancer drink so much coffee? Because they're Santa's Starbucks.
Okay, that's a good one.
Catch a flash, a sparkle.
The energy just go woo.
Thank you.
Oh, everyone take that in. That is like a little whoosh, and I want everyone to take that in because it just feels it's good and it's fun. And I know this is one of the things when you're working with you, and I know with you and I having all these conversations, we're always laughing, we're having a good time, and it does feel like you've had, guys, a whole pot of coffee. When you're done with Michael, you'll be like, oh my, did I just drink a pot of coffee? But you're not. You're just full of that life force energy and all that joy and all the fun. And and so I hope you guys will all take that in and really feel, because this is that place to just listen and feel and take that in and to really elevate yourself. And I love that with the help of your angels and guides, guys, the more you lean in, the more you're going to go through and elevate quicker over these next few years. Don't worry about it. Just here we go. And all the answers, like you said, they're already inside you. So I hope everyone will really take that in. Like it's really important. Did you grab something there? Did you have something else you wanted to share with the audience?
So my guardian angel, only complicated name out of 170 figures or so, Min, just like Minnesota, Lakota Sioux word for water. So there's my guardian angel. Don't worry about the name. Just call her Min. Light waves of energy and water, but there's a silhouette of an angel, and she's oceany. If you want to think Moana, the opening scene, when the ocean receded back for the little kid to pick up the conch shells, that would be her. You can go surfing with angels with your eyes shut. She'll make the ocean just perfect for you. But go ahead and ask her either for an ocean smell or feel a wave of oceany or watery, a good vibe. You know how water helps kind of recenter you. Ask for it, receive. But now here's the puff question for 11 or 12 years. I've had thousands of folks ask, because it needs to not be your hardest, stressful question. It needs to be the easiest question. So, hey, Min, what do I need to know in life right now? And just listen for a little whisper. It'll be your voice. If you're not really letting go the whole way, you'll hear relax or breathe. Now, if you're already into the game here of just letting go, you're going to hear point blank her voice, and you'll hear everything's going to be okay, because you have started to gravitate towards that cousin or your vacation. You're worried about it. So just allow for what you can allow for in this very moment. You're good enough how you are right now, but you can always let go this much more.
I love it. I love it. Guys, that feels so good. It feels so good. So I want to, for the people who have not quite gone to your website yet, and all the details are below as always. You guys know you find them always below, however you're watching this. What is it like, and how do you break it down when you are working with someone? Like, what do they expect? When they come and they all of a sudden have this session, is you go through the different angels that with the questions they're asking? Do you go with what the angels of how they guide you? So if someone's like, oh my gosh, I want to go and know what this is experience is like on a different level, what would that look like for them? Someone who's never met you.
In an hour, you get to meet 3 angels. In 2.5 hours, you meet 12 figures. So it includes
Wow.
Archangel Michael, Gabriel. I think it's like 6 angels, 3 Native American chiefs, Dolknife, Red Shirt, Geronimo, and also Mother Teresa, Chogyam Trungpa, and Sai Baba from India, who is tight with angels. So you get 12 figures in 2.5 hours. You learn to trust your inner compass, your skills. You listen, you get hugs, you see. And I don't see your questions or answers. I mean, I might remotely know your question if you're asking, hey, what do I need to know in life? But I don't see your answers. I only ask that you share what you would want to share at a cocktail party. But there's no limit on the level of detail. You do have to learn how to trust your electricity or plumbing, that it's functioning. Are you sure I'm able to hear? I mean, I am the type of guy the last 11 years, I got to hear it 100 times before I allow for it to be so. So I asked Geronimo the other day, the dumbest question. Am I good at manifesting? And I just get a sweet Jesus, Mike. Yes. And I mean, he had it with me. And so Geronimo, here's the young photo of him, historical. He's unconditional love, action, dry wit, humor. And here's
I love the other one. I have to say, I'm always very drawn to the older one. He's always in my field, guys. I was going to ask you earlier, if you weren't going to put him up, I was going to say you have to put Geronimo's older photo up, because the power, and you know, even since you and I spoke, I think it was back in February, he started showing up so much in my field and on a whole new level. But talk about, guys listening, like a warrior, like, wow, like just a warrior of light. And it's even made things in my world, they're fairly smooth, but I'm talking almost into effortless mode. Like he's just, there is power. I know everybody's drawn to different ones at different times in your life as well. And I'm sure you've noticed that, right? There are different ones in your life, but talk about power. Like,
so Dolknife, Red Shirt, Geronimo are like everyone's long lost uncles. They're unconditional love.
they're all
Historical photos can move, by the way. Audrey Hepburn, a wink, a smile, a nod in a photo that we know can't move. So
and that freaks you out. Yeah. I'll tell you, I've had that happen. It's freak out. If haven't you noticed the first time it happens, you're like, wait a minute here. What am I? And then you see it again.
But it's a great introduction to your own ego, because your ego is going to be the one judging, going, I didn't just see the eye wink. And your heart says, oh my God, Audrey Hepburn, it was so beautiful. She just winked at me. And you get to witness your own flows, because once you open up like this, just this much, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. Your life path, your learning, your whatever you want to call it, make it serious, your spiritual awakening, whatever, it's begun. Once you learn what this is about, it's usually a waste of energy, causing harm, judging, reacting, resisting, fear, worry, stress, judgment, all the rest. You realize, holy cow, it's like a hot stove. The less I touch my hot stove, the less pain, suffering I go through, the more fun it is to be sparkly and easygoing. You never lost your footstep or your old you if you were really relaxed at university, or when you were 14, or if you have to go back to 5, do it. But you never lost your stride. It's a constant, this love, the sparkliness, you know, the Disney thing. I don't want to make it sound too easy, but you never lost it. It's there. You just have to kind of pull the polish out or rub your lamp.
Yes. Yeah. And move on it. I love it. You're such a treat. Okay. I want to quickly talk, before we get to the top here of your show. You know, why did you decide to go into this direction? Your new podcast, your show, it's absolutely wonderful. And what was that inspiration? Because it's a whole other level. You've done lots of podcasts, you've done lots of shows. So this is just, it's just bringing the world together on a different level. And this is why I want to encourage everyone to see it. And again, we're gonna have the links below, but what was the inspiration for that and why now?
Angels, positivity, and love. And so I've got 16 episodes, I think, have come out, 30 taped. Lorna Byrne from Ireland just accepted. She tapes June 15th for probably mid-August. Just had another Irish lady today, but all over the world, Germany, India, Australia, a couple from New Zealand, 4 from South Africa. Macchio Clerk comes in, Dream Guidance tapes Friday. So, and then a bunch of people from Canada. Thank you. Portugal, it goes on. Very international. France, and she's got a 900,000 TikTok audience. So it's real healers, show host themselves, 90%, 99% of them. I, like everything else, stumbled into it backwards. I had a December 22nd meeting with all these show hosts that I've gotten to know. You'll be invited to the next one, where we just did some angel work together for fun, for free. There might be some marketing added next time this summer. I'll make sure you get the invite. You're in. But in the middle of it, I just asked out loud, hey, should I do a show? And one of the people in Atlanta who's been a guest, episode, I'm going to guess 7, 8, or 9, 13, something like that, Ursula Lentini, just said, hey, I got to run, but what were you waiting for? You should have done this a long time ago. And that was sort of the answer from the universe. And she rung off, but it left us all laughing hysterically. That's how I did the show. And it's just taken off. It feels good. People actually take these steps on air. So people who need their hand held or a little reassurance, hang in there for hearing their life story, how they help others. I think that stuff is beautiful, but you get to witness people letting go, listening, getting hugs, and even seeing.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful direction that you've taken, like I say, internationally, bringing all these people from all over the world, because that's where we're now all elevating as part of these whole new matrix that we're building right on Earth, and letting, as the old one goes, this is where it is, and we're all one, we're all equal, and you've really done an incredible job. And I want to encourage everyone to go back and, look at all the past episodes, and make sure you subscribe to get the new episodes, because it's really heart-centered. What you have done is so heart-centered. I love what you say. It's like, why didn't you do this before? And when you say that, it's like, hello. It's sort of like when someone said to me, how come you had to have so many near-death experiences before you woke up, right? I'm like, yeah, I kept hitting my head, and eventually I always say we're the ones that were like, what did you say? The tough nut to crack, but you had a different way of putting it. How did you put that? You go in and
I crack people open like a walnut, because, we're holding on as much as you can to our shell, because the last thing you want to do is full living, be completely happy with the top down and ascot and yelling, I love life to the wind as we're driving 90 kilometers an hour in 120 kilometer zone. So just, you're under the speed limit.
just slightly, right? That was me the weekend. I crank my music a little too loud and have a really good time and forget that there's other cars around me. And I swear they're like, okay, that lady must be crazy. She's singing in her car, having a good time. But that's what it's about, right? It's letting that wind just sort of blow through us. And would you, before we get ready to sign off, would you do one more little like clearing or wind blow or something for everybody that's watching, so they can take this beautiful energy and continue?
Sure. Dull Knife is a Native American chief, unconditional love. I just happened to grab him. But he had once said, life is a feast, partake. He's very formal, like red shirt. Yes, no, proper. Geronimo is the opposite. Slang, yeah, nah, just do it. He's action. He's like a Marine Corps drill sergeant. So here's a very traditional Chief Dull Knife. He's wisdom with some humor. Catch the scent of sage, sweetgrass, pine, desert pinon. You don't have to light anything to get that smell, the sacred smell. There's about 60 of them. Let it come to you. Trust the universe can bring you a smell wherever you are around the world. And then ask them 2 things you need to know for the rest of the year. Get 2 hugs. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Unofficial tip is 1 millimeter open for your mouth, and breathe extra. For those who are old school, close your eyes and allow. It's just an easier way to go, but I always insist on doing it in all different ways. So open your eyes, leave your eyes on the photo. On my YouTube channel, there's plenty of shorts where I hold something up. It disappears pretty quick to make sure you watch it 3 times instead of once. But do what you need to do to capture the picture a little. And you can find those pictures all over my social media and stuff like that. Just trust that you're already a Jedi and you've got this ability. Find a way to find your own baby steps. That's all this is.
I love it. I love it. So best place for people to find you, and we will have all your social media below, but best place for people to find you?
Machu Picchu. Just kidding. www.Michael, André like the champagne, ANDRE, Ford like the truck or car. MichaelAndreFord.com has got everything. And my handle for YouTube is @MichaelAndreFord if you need to find me that way.
Awesome. And we'll make sure we put that below. So one final thing you want to say to everyone before we let them go for the day, and they'll see you again, but one final thought.
You're never alone. I mean, don't view this as an invasion of privacy or some shocking revelation or anything like that. Just know that you can experience more joy, more peace, breathing, more confidence, more swagger. It's your presence. And if you do let go and experience something, watch what happens when you walk down the street. People across the street who would never talk to you normally will pick up on your energy and say hi. Someone will run over to hold the door open. It's crazy how this is just about a little more like experiencing love and then sharing love. So kind of pass it along.
I love it. I love it. And thank you. Thank you for coming and spending this time. And thank you for all of you that are watching this in all the places that we put it. It's nice to revive the Tracy L. Clark Show again and bring it back in a new way. And so you'll be seeing more. And Michael, I know we will be seeing more of you and you'll be back helping people. So make sure you check out the details below so you can connect with Michael and watch all of the past episodes and the future episodes that are coming up, because you really take the time to, I would advise you, really, with all of the guests that he's had on, they're top notch. They're incredible. He does a great job. And take that time. We're in a world right now that's all about 2 seconds, 2 seconds. But remember, no, we have to get out of that and stay present and take the time and absorb the information. That's how you're going to shift faster. So,
and Tracy's coming up. Her episode on angels, positivity, and love is this weekend. If it happens to be you're watching this week.
they should. So that's May 14th, right? We're on May 14th, Sunday, Mother's Day. Mother's Day.
Oh, there you go.
Well, yes, you guys will see this all. We'll make sure that everybody sees this before Mother's Day, because that's an actual extra special time. So I'll say that's angels at work right there. If you know me and you know under everything, that was angel divine timing right there. Thank you. Such a pleasure. So everybody have an incredible day. Thank you, Michael. And we will
Thank you,
see
Tracy.
you again soon.